Censorship can take many different forms, such as political censorship, when the government withholds information from the people, and moral censorship, when certain subjects are suppressed because they are seen as morally wrong. Even though there are many types of censorship, they all have the same end effect: an oppression of the free will and ideas of the masses.
Society in Orwell's 1984. The novel begins with Winston Smith questioning the Inner Party, which is led by Big Brother. Big Brother and the Inner Party control Oceania. The rule is very oppressive and the citizens don't have any free will. The party constantly watches its citizens through large monitors. These televisions constantly spew war propaganda and it brainwashes the oceanic people into loving Big Brother and despising Eurasian leader Goldstein. Citizens in Oceania are scared of expressing their emotions due to fear of punishment from the government. Children are also brainwashed to support Big Brother starting from a very young age, and they are told to report their parents to the thought police if they have any differing views about the regime. Perhaps friend was not exactly the right word. You did not have friends nowadays, you had comrades. But there were some comrades whose society was pleasanter than that of others. This quote shows that close relationships simply do not exist in this world. The government has complete control over the citizens' minds, and the idea of intimate relationships does not exist in this society. These situations in the novel show that society will lose all free will if an entity gains complete control. Individuals become worthless unless they provide complete support to the government, and people who oppose the government are slaughtered. Winston's destruction at the end of the novel also shows that once society allows conditions to reach this point, there is almost no way to turn back.
Censorship in Fahrenheit 451. The censorship in Fahrenheit 451 deals with a dystopian society in which books are banned and people act vacuous and intellectually oppressed. Bradbury sends a very distinct message about his dystopia in which the government has control over what people can watch, read, and discuss. What he is showing us here is a world where people are too interested in personal entertainment like huge TV screens, fast cars, and loud music. He proposes this society in which books are of no use and people have forgotten about them. It is not the books you need, it is the things which once were in books. It is also suggested that minorities were continually offended by more and more books, to the point where the government's only option to please everybody was to rid of them altogether, a problem with which we are facing even today, with everyone seeming to be offended by something. The bigger the population, the more minorities. Don't step on the toes of dog lovers, cat lovers, doctors, lawyers, merchants, chiefs, Mormons, Baptists, Unitarians, second-generation Chinese, Swedes, Italians, Germans, Texans, Brooklynites, Irishmen, people from Oregon or Mexico. The people in this book, this play, this TV serial are not meant to represent any actual painters, cartographers, or mechanics anywhere. This is important to our theme of censorship because Bradbury is showing a world where the government has restricted citizens' access to knowledge, and people only live for entertainment, instant gratification, and speeding through life, as evidenced by low working hours and many suicide attempts. Bradbury is showing us that if we let the government continue to censor such items, eventually this is what our society will end up as.
The characters in 1984 and in Fahrenheit 451 lack true happiness. After shouting out Julia's name while being held captive by Big Brother, Winston wonders how many years had he added to his servitude by that movement of weakness. Captain Beatty says to Montauk, "We stand against the small tide of those who want to make everyone unhappy with conflicting theory and thought." As you can see, both characters do not truly have happiness. In Winston's case, he is forced to wonder how much he will be punished for briefly expressing his love, and in Montauk's case, he is not able to achieve true happiness because he is not allowed to think critically about anything. Because the two aren't allowed to be their own people, they are not able to develop their own sense of happiness and fulfillment. The characters in 1984 and in Fahrenheit 451 both are forced to live in fear of what their government may do to them if they do not act as expected. While in prison, Winston says, "Do anything to me," he yelled. "You've been starving me for weeks. Finish it off. Let me die. Shoot me. Hang me. Sentence me to 25 years. But not room 101. A description of the hound: the mechanical hound slept but did not sleep, lived but did not live, in its gently humming, gently vibrating, softly illuminated kennel back in a dark corner of the firehouse. The governments in both books stop at nothing to ensure that civilians obey their rule. The people in both books are forced to fear the government. Torture inspires this fear in 1984, and the hound inspires it in Fahrenheit 451. And the people in both books know that if they attempt to use their free will in a way the government doesn't like, that they will be subject to any number of torture methods. The Inner Party in 1984 certainly operates differently than the government in Fahrenheit 451. The Inner Party favors a more totalitarian approach, while the government in Fahrenheit 451 prefers to control the masses through media. While the censorship differs in the two books, both governments affect the masses in the same way, by creating an environment in which people are not free to express themselves or to have free will.